Hello there, how are ya? Welcome back to How I Did It. I purchased a bunch of these 110 volt barn lights from the big box store, and I have wired them into 12 volt, bought 12 volt bulbs, and they work great on a switch. Now I purchased a dusk to dawn sensor, and these little triangle shaped dusk to dawn sensors did not work, so I went back to Amazon. I purchased this blue sensor, a blue and white sensor here, and I am actually going to install that on this light. Now, since this sensor is a bunch of junk, don't waste your time. Cut the sensor eye off. It's hollow on the inside. You cut this glass off of there and you can use that as your grommet going through your metal on your light, keeping it from chafing or cutting the wires. So, perfect fit. It has double little plastic lock nuts with rubber gaskets, so the other sensors weren't a total waste of my money. So now this light I had already pre-drilled here on the face of it. So here I'm just feeding the wires through the original sensor mounting hole, utilizing the sensor eye housing to keep from having any chafing to the wires. And then to see how I was going to mount this particular sensor, I had already cut this bracket off once and it did not work. So I took it off, I hammered the bracket flat. I use due care, don't get crazy with the hammer. But I hammered it flat. I cut it down a little bit more, as you can see there, and now I can just put a self-tapping screw in to hold that sensor on. This worked like a charm. And again, this is a 110 volt light that I am wiring to a 12 volt system using a 12 volt sensor, utilizing a 12 volt bulb. And this all runs directly off of my 12 volt battery bank, which I want to say pretty much 100% of my lighting inside the off-grid barn is 12 volt. Okay, I had a film section describing what I did, and it was so confusing to me. I actually took a still and I figured I would just explain what I did. I took a 110 volt light and I wired it into my 12 volt. I purchased a 12 volt bulb, and then I put a 12 volt dusk to dawn sensor on. So the sensor has 3 wires. It has a black, a white, and a red. The black wire on the sensor goes directly to your 12 volt power source. The white on this sensor goes to your 12 volt ground, or your black wire from your battery bank. And it also goes to the black wire on the light. And then the last wire on the sensor is red, and that red wire goes to the white wire on the light. Okay, now that's cleared up. Whew! Alrighty then. I just want to thank y'all for stopping by. Have an absolutely wonderful and blessed week. I'll see you next time on How I Did It.